How we doing, guys? Good. Appreciate everybody being here. The first thing I'd like to do is start by thanking the fans, especially the students. It was one of the more beautiful days in Happy Valley that I've been around, and the fact that our students were out there going crazy, supporting us even in pregame, and the fans came out and supported us under those type of conditions. Very, very appreciative of that. And like we've said from day one, with the entire community and campus coming together, we're going to do some real special things here. So I wanted to take a minute and thank everybody for that. I'll give you guys kind of some high points that we have from the game. You know, Carl Nassib, who I've been bragging about all summer long. First career interception, career high 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. You got a freshman, DeAndre Tompkins, with a 58-yard punt return, longest one since Derek Williams in 2008. Christian Hackenberg moved into second place on Penn State's career completions list. First time since 2007 that we had a kick return and a punt return for 58 yards or more in a game. Deshaun Hamilton with his 3rd career touchdown. Austin Johnson with 9 tackles. Evan Schwan with career high 4 tackles. Saquon Barkley, who I thought gave us a spark, came in as a freshman, did some exciting things, had 115 yards, most for a true freshman since Silas Redd. You know, it's funny, before Saquon got here, he used to hurdle people all the time in high school, and he said, I'm not going to do that in college. And I said, well, that doesn't make sense to me, because in high school, it's illegal to hurdle people, and it's legal in college. So I'm glad that he brought that back out of his bag of tricks. First time 2 true freshmen score a touchdown in a single game since 2005. You know, one of the other important stats is that we protected our quarterback, moved the pocket, ran the ball. I thought our defense had some momentum-changing plays with sacks and interceptions today and turnovers. So I thought at times we started to create an identity for this football team on offense, defense. I think on special teams, the last 2 weeks we've played pretty well. We need to clean up our punting. We need to be much more consistent in our punting game. I think that would be really helpful, especially with the style of play we're going to have to play. So I'm going to stop talking, because Chris has given me recommendations that I talk too long in my opening statements.
Raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you.
Good afternoon, James.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. It's a beautiful color on you. I prefer you in blue, but it's still a nice color on you.
I like this color. My wife picked it out, so I can't complain.
Wife's right.
Okay. You were carrying a play card. Did you take a more active role in the play calling, and can you comment generally on the offense and the way you think it ran today?
Yeah, I was more active all week long. You know, I thought overall, again, you lose Andrew Nelson for the game, who's, you could make the argument, our you know, one of our better offensive linemen. You know, we end up now putting you know, Paris back in, and I think considering everything, I thought we did some nice things on offense today. We were more balanced. We were able to run the ball. I thought it was a real positive. You know, I don't think we had a turnover in the game in pretty significant wet weather. So I thought we did some nice things. I thought all the coaches did a good job having a plan, have our guys prepared. There's still a lot of things that we got to get cleaned up. There's still a lot of things that we got to get better. There's no doubt about it.
Can I just follow that up? Why did you feel the need to take a more active role?
Well, obviously, you know, we need to be more effective. We need to be more effective on offense. We need to be more effective on defense. We need to be more effective on special teams. There is some challenges, which I think everybody is aware of. But, you know, nobody wants to hear it. You know, we got to find a way to get better every single day. That's fundamentals. That's technique. I do think Saquon Barkley being able to make people miss and break tackles is helpful for us. I think other guys have been able to do that. I think Polk has brought something to our offense. I think Godwin's consistency has really brought something. So we just got to make more plays. Mike Gesicki, who I believe in, I think he's a special player, had some opportunities today. He'll make that next week. You know, right after the game, I see him, and the first thing he says to me is, "I'll bounce back." I say, "Mike, enjoy the win, man. I know you're going to bounce back. You don't got to tell me that. Enjoy the win. Let's get back to work tomorrow." But I'm proud of the guys. I'm proud of the guys for persevering and sticking together, having each other's back, and finding a way to get a dub.
James, can you talk specifically about the job the offensive line did after losing Andrew, and can you tell us anything about Andrew's situation?
Yeah, Andrew's been dealing with a situation, really since we've been here, and probably before that. It flares up at times. From what I've been told from the trainers, it's the same thing. So, I think the fact that we, had moving parts, we bring Wendy in there. Wendy wasn't available in week 1. He was available this week. We were able to bring him in. I think that was helpful. And then, Paris, got the week 1 jitters out, and I think, played pretty well. I think the biggest thing is I thought we managed the O-line situation much better. Being able to run the ball, being able to move the pocket, being able to throw quick game and things like that, allow those guys to have some success. And I thought the O-line stepped up when they needed to.
When you take a look at your defense, really played well in the first half. How would you look at just overall analysis of how the defense played today, especially the play with the interception with Zettel and Nassib?
Yeah, I think we all know that our D-line can be really disruptive in the run and pass game. I actually still think that they can even be more disruptive. But I thought the defense played well. That offense has a good plan. Talked about Coach Leopold's background. We had a good talk before the game. They had a good plan, and I thought our defense played well. I still think there's times that we can play to another level, defensively, offensively, and special teams. But I thought at times our D-line really took over the game. I'd love to see them do it at a more consistent rate. Guy that I don't have the exact. Let me see if I have it here. Troy Reeder. It seemed like it says on here 7 tackles. I find that hard to believe. Seemed like he was all over the field and played really well for a redshirt freshman.
James, when and how did Saquon demonstrate to you that he could, 1, handle running the ball at this level, and then 2, make plays like the ones he did?
It was very early on. We played him in week 1. It's not like he hasn't played. We're only the second week into the season. He played some in week 1, showed some flashes. Wanted to allow his role to continue to grow as he gets more comfortable and confident. There's still some areas that he needs to improve in pass protection in terms of his responsibilities. We managed that a little bit today. He was in for passes, but on 3rd down, we took him out and put Akil back in, so we managed that a little bit. But he's just got to keep working. I feel really good. I think Akil has got a chance to be a special back. I think, you look at Mark Allen and Saquon and Nick Scott. Nick Scott showed some things as a kick returner today, and he's got a chance to do some things. So we got 4 backs we feel good about, and the O-line continuing to grow. I thought our tight ends, I thought Wilkerson played a good game today as a blocker. Try to get the tight ends a little bit more involved. We still need to do that more in the passing game.
James, could you evaluate what you saw from the 3 linebackers when you had them on the field, especially with Bell out, and then what you thought of the packages you went to with 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs, sort of how that worked for you?
You talking about today or overall?
Today.
Yeah, I thought our linebackers, really played well. There's still a lot of communication that goes on in our defense. Thought overall they handled that. There was a couple times where I felt like with the tempo that they were doing, we needed to kind of water down our calls and just make a base call and let our guys line up and get their cleats in the ground and play fast. I think we could do a little bit better job with that, but I thought overall Kabinda played really well. I thought Reeder played really well. I thought Von Walker did some really nice things. And then, we didn't really call the game any different with our star package and our dollar and things like that. And that's going to be valuable for those guys moving forward. Hopefully we'll get a few more guys back this week. I'm hopeful to have Grant Haley back. He's a playmaker for us. He's an experienced guy. Again, he's a sophomore, but played as a true freshman. I feel like he's an experienced guy. Hopefully get Bell back and some other guys as well.
James, with Kabinda specifically, do you think he maybe helps some with some stability with that defense, especially with the communication issues you were talking about last week?
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it stability when you got a guy starting for the first time ever at Mike linebacker, but I think under the circumstances, I thought he did a nice job for us.
James, you won the toss, took the ball. Were you trying to show confidence and or challenge the offense right away?
It really had mostly to do with the weather conditions. We had been given a report that in the second half it could get a lot worse. So I wanted to make sure we had the ball early on before the field conditions and the weather conditions got worse.
Hey, Coach, you talked about the defensive line earlier. We don't talk about Austin Johnson as much as some of the other guys. How important is he to what you do with the defensive line?
Well, I think Austin, is a guy that does his job, and there's times where he flashes and makes big momentum-changing plays, tackles for loss and sacks and things like that. But the other plays, he's probably doing as much as anybody else and maybe more. And it goes unnoticed. They have a hard time coming off the double team with him, which frees up our linebackers and also allows Zettel to be in one-on-one situations when you got a 325-pound guy like him who's explosive and athletic.
Coach? Hey, Coach. Over here. Hi. I know athletic department policy on these situations, but can we expect Nelson to be week to week now? Do you think he'll be ready at left tackle for next week? And a follow-up, we didn't see much of Koa on special teams today, despite his prowess at returning kicks and punts. Is he okay week to week?
It's not really an athletic department policy. It's just my policy. It's our policy for our football program. We don't talk about injuries. It's hard for me to tell right now. He wasn't good enough to come back in the game, obviously. So that's going to be discussion with the trainers this week to see. We'll see. It's a nagging deal he's been working through. Koa had some things last week come up in the game that limited him this week, and with his role as a kick returner and outside and safety, it's hard to be limited at those two positions. Other positions you can kind of grind it out. We expect to have him back next week.
James, Coach, on your left, was there anything specific you said to Paris Palmer or any specific pep talk that he got before he came into the game in the second half?
No, I just said I love you and I believe you, and I took a towel and I wiped off those rec specs that he had because they were fogged up and covered in rain, and let him go in and play. And I thought, he did well.
James, how much of what happened today do you feel represents improvement from week 1 to week 2, and how much of it was simply a team of superior athletes wearing down another team?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think our guys made improvements. I don't think there's any doubt that we made improvements, made some plays. I felt like the guys made plays that they should make. I still think we left some plays out there. I would have loved to see what we would have been able to do under different weather conditions, but I thought considering the weather conditions that were out there, we played a style of game that we needed to play. So, successful with that. A lot of teams are playing out of conference games to open the season. Again, we're excited for the win and how we were able to get the win this week.
Coach, over here. When you have a back with a hot hand like you did with Saquon Barkley in a game like today, do you look towards the future as far as playing time with that, or is it more just riding the hot hand in the moment? And what can we expect going forward with the rotation of running back? I think it's a little bit of both. I think we got some backs that we feel good about and that we can win with. But yeah, I think we're going to need to continue to develop Saquon. I think his ability to make people miss and break tackles. I think you guys watch him as a runner. He doesn't run like a freshman. He's making people miss, but he's also breaking tackles, and you usually don't get that combination in a freshman. They usually are kind of one or the other. So, we're going to need to continue to develop him. Again, I think Akil will still have a significant role, and those other guys will as well. But it's a piece of the puzzle. He showed those things in practice throughout camp. He showed those things this week. And now he showed it in the game. So his confidence will continue to grow, and I think the O-line will continue to grow. And when you have a guy that's making plays like that, it's amazing. Just like as a punt returner and kick returner, you got somebody back there that can make something happen. Guys block better too, and it has that type of impact on everybody. Guys, thank you.